I remember walking into corner stores with excitement every summer day. The fluorescent candy shelf glowed with promise and sugary wonder. Kids clustered around displays of brightly packaged retro treats and snacks. Back then, a single dollar could buy you 2 or 3 delights. Time has marched on and many of those snacks have vanished. Today, we're diving deep into classic candies from the 80s era. Get ready to revisit flavors, memories, and lost treats together. The first candy on our list is PB Max, a peanut butter-rich bar. It combined chocolate and creamy peanut butter in bold layers. Mars pulled it from shelves despite its dedicated fan base. When I unwrapped one back then, the aroma hit immediately. It represented a freedom of choice and childhood indulgence. I still recall that snap when you bit into its chocolate shell. If only it could make a triumphant return someday. Next up is Bonkers, the fruit chew with silly commercials. Its commercials featured giant fruit bonking people in joyful chaos. The soft exterior and fruity center made it uniquely fun. Kids laughed and enjoyed both the product and its zany ad. Sadly, it disappeared in the 1990s and faded from memory. Yet for those who tasted it, the memory remains vivid and bright. That's the power of nostalgia wrapped in a candy wrapper. Then there was the Marathon bar, caramel-filled and braided like a rope. It promised you a candy bar that lasted long in shape and theme. Kids loved its sticky chew, its distinctive appearance and flavor. But competition grew fierce and shelf space narrowed for it. It faded away in the 80s and now remains a memory. I often imagine the taste and feel of that braided caramel indulgence. It stands as a symbol of gone but not forgotten. The Reggie, bar-tied candy to sports legend Reggie Jackson and peanut caramel chocolate. It felt like a victory snack for kids dreaming big. You bit into caramel, peanuts, and chocolate while imagining the ballpark. That was the magic of branding and confection combined in the era. Even though novelty faded, the memory is unmistakably tied to youth. It vanished but still brings up longing for simpler snack moments. These bars turned candy into an experience beyond just eating. Remember the tiny, tangy hard candies called Tart and Tiny? Those bright colors and sharp flavors made kids pucker with delight. They were different from soft chews or chocolate bars around. We savored them maybe too quickly as recess rolled by. They disappeared in the 90s but left their sour mark. I still crave that tang and tiny crunch from long ago. They serve as micro-memories of schoolyard snack breaks and laughter. Another hidden gem is the airy chocolate bar Choco Light. It offered bubbly texture, light chocolate, and a unique experience. It felt premium yet playful, a treat worth discussing with friends. When it vanished, we didn't fully appreciate how special it was. Years later, I realized that missing texture made it stand out. Nostalgia often highlights the smallest differences in snack experience. Choco Light lives on in memory, even if not on shelves. Then there were the fun, peanut butter and chocolate candies called Oompas. Larger than many competitors, they rocked a candy shell and rich inside. Packed with flavor and character, they felt like a snack adventure. They faded away, but the memory remains vivid in retro lists. When I think back, I imagine sharing them with friends after school. They were more than candy. They were social currency in playgrounds. That social flavor is often what nostalgia really taps into. The layered chocolate bar, none combined wafers, peanuts, and caramel meticulously. The richness felt like a treat reserved for special occasions. We compared bars, talked about thickness and crunch while eating. But shelf changes and shifting tastes ended its regular production. Still today, I recall that hearty bite and chocolate nut combination. Nostalgia gives significance to that moment of choosing your candy bar. Bar none reminds us of how snack culture has evolved and shifted. Short-lived yet memorable is the Summit Bar. Wafers, peanuts beneath a chocolate cover. It had fans, but it vanished in the 1980s with little fanfare. I remember spotting one in a vending machine and feeling lucky. That fleeting availability made every bite feel like a treasure. It's a symbol of how some treats simply vanish but live on inside. The nostalgia attaches not only to flavor, but to rarity and memory. Summit Bar reminds us some delights only shine briefly but forever. Who could forget the novelty of whistle pops? Lollipops you could whistle with. The dual function made them more than candy. They were a toy, too. Kids loved licking and then trying to produce notes or whistles. That extra layer of fun made them unforgettable beyond flavor alone. When they disappeared, the combination of sugar and toy vanished, too. Looking back, nostalgia captures not just taste but playful mechanisms. Whistle Pops embody that playful spirit of 80s snack innovation. Then there were liquid-filled tubes of sugar called Squeeze-It candy tubes. You squeezed bright fruity syrup into your mouth, sticky and fun. They were messy, daring, and full of fluorescent color and flavor. Eating them required a bit of bravery and a napkin nearby. Their disappearance means that mess and spontaneity are part of nostalgia. I miss the vivid flavors and the slight chaos of those moments. Squeeze-It candy tubes remind us how snack rules were more relaxed then. The chewy, fruit-filled candy called Giggles resembled but stood apart from similar sweets. Its soft outer shell and juicy center felt special and memorable. We passed handfuls around at sleepovers and compared favorite flavors. Some snacks are less known today, yet loom large in memory. Giggles represents a sweet chapter of 80s flavor variety and fun. When they vanished, we didn't realize just how distinctive they were. That recognition comes later, as nostalgia sharpens our tastes and memories. The classic candy gum hybrid Razzles still holds a nostalgic corner in my mind. You started candy, then it turned into gum, and you kept chewing. The original formula had stronger flavor and more impact than later versions. Many fans still argue nothing quite matches that 80s version. It's the kind of experience only time and absence can enhance. When a treat changes or disappears, nostalgia amplifies what we liked. Razzle's original formula stands as a case study in snack memory. There was the layered chocolate bar Nestlé Triple Decker, with white, milk, and dark chocolate. It felt luxurious, indulgent, and layered like a dessert in a bar. We treated ourselves to one and imagined movie theater film nights. But it vanished quietly, leaving only longing for that multi-chocolate experience. It reminds us that not all favorite treats survive forever. Nostalgia amplifies that sense of what if and why did it go. Triple Decker captures that bittersweet mix of indulgence and disappearance. Then we had Hershey's S'mores Bar, chocolate, marshmallow, and graham cracker in candy form. It took the summer camp favorite into your pocket and snack time. That combination felt innovative for its time and place in history. Kids loved imagining fireside roasting while unwrapping the bar. Its discontinuation means we remember both flavor and setting together. It shows how snacks connect to moods, seasons, and places too. S'mores Bar is nostalgia, layered with memory of friends and outdoors. A quirky one: Willy Wonka's dinosaur eggs, jawbreaker candy shell, gum surprise inside. The packaging and concept appealed to kids' imagination and adventure. Unwrapping it felt like unearthing some prehistoric treasure in your hand. That's the kind of physicality and fun we sometimes miss in snacks. It vanished, but the memory remains tied to creativity and childhood wonder. Nostalgia often thrives on that sense of discovery and play. Dinosaur eggs remind us snacks used to come with stories built in. The variation, Cookies and Cream Twix, added cookies and cream instead of caramel in the Twix format. It felt like a limited edition treat we excitedly bought and shared. Even though the main brand survived, this version quietly disappeared. We still talk about it when discussing the one that got away. That's nostalgia at work, longing for a specific version, not generic. Our memories are precise and tied to a time when it existed. Cookies and Cream Twix is a reminder that even variants matter in memory. Tiny versions of candy holes called Lifesavers holes came in a tube and disappeared. they were marketed as the holes left by full lifesavers. Kids loved the novelty and convenience of the tube packaging. Their discontinuation was partly due to safety concerns and changing tastes. Yet we still remember the flavor, the shape, the bright colors. That combination of novelty, fun, and packaging plays into nostalgia. Life Savers holes remind us packaging can carry memory as much as taste. Crunchy, irregular-shaped candies called Brax Rocks were fun, messy, and sweet in equal parts. They had a rock-like appearance and shell-crunch interior that stood out. We poured them into bowls and grabbed handfuls at family gatherings. They vanished, but the experience of sharing remains vivid in memory. Nostalgia often hangs on the communal moments surrounding snacks. Brax Rocks represent how snacks tie into memories of people and place. They are gone, but their impact remains in our shared childhoods. Finally, we recall Slush Puppy Spray Candy, sugar spray version of the frozen drink treat. Kids loved the blue tongues and the novelty of spraying sweetness. It merged drink culture with candy mechanics in a fun way. When it disappeared, the novelty faded, but the memory stuck around. We associate it with warm afternoons, sticky hands, and carefree adventure. That's nostalgia's power. Smallest details triggering big emotions from long ago. Slush Puppy Spray Candy embodies a specific moment of snack time fun. So, why do we feel this nostalgia for candies from the 80s? Because they evoke simpler times, carefree moments, and childhood wonder. Candy is one of our earliest taste-linked memory anchors in life. When those specific treats vanish, we feel the absence as loss. But that absence also magnifies their importance in our minds. Each of the 20 snacks we discussed carries a story and feeling, and revisiting them lets us reconnect with a younger version of ourselves. Nostalgia for snack culture is more than just missing sugar and flavor. It's about rituals, packaging, commercials, and friends who shared them. Remember running to the candy aisle, picking one item to savor, or comparing wrappers, flavors, and textures with your sibling or friend. Those shared experiences build emotional memory far beyond taste alone. When a snack disappears, we lose a thread in that tapestry. That's why these lost candies still matter even decades later. As a script researcher with 2 decades of experience, I've studied snack trends. I've looked at why some candies survive and others quietly vanish. Often, it's not about flavor alone, but marketing, manufacturing, and branding. When companies shift focus, the niche treats get left behind. And when only memory remains, nostalgia steps in to fill the gap. Our love for 80s candies is part emotional, part historical, and part cultural. By remembering them, we honor a chapter of snack history and childhood. Let's reflect on what the disappearance of these candies teaches us. It reminds us that production and popularity are fragile and fleeting. It also reminds us that our personal memories can outlive brands. For 80s kids, candy aisles were stages for small adventures. Each treat had a flavor, shape, and wrapper tied to emotion. When we revisit them, we reconnect with those moments of joy. The story of these 20 candies is the story of our childhood. If you grew up in the USA during the 1980s, you likely remember. You remember hearing the jingle, seeing the display, unwrapping the treat. You remember the texture, the aroma, and the first bite's surprise. You remember sharing with siblings, friends, and comparing favorite flavors. Some of these snacks vanished long ago, others changed format or brand, but the feeling they gave us remains alive in memory and heart. That's true nostalgia for candy, feeling as vivid as the taste itself. Watching this, you might be smiling at a forgotten wrapper or logo. You might recall the sound of unwrapping, the rustle of plastic, the sweet scent. You might remember how the shelf looked or how you selected your snack. These details become time capsules of our past lives and simpler days. And when the candy disappears, the memory grows in significance, not less. Nostalgia amplifies absent treats into symbols of innocence and fun. We cherish them because they connect us to who we once were. Candy nostalgia also links across generations and conversations today. You can ask your kids or younger friends, "Did you ever try this?" When they say no, you suddenly appreciate how unique your era was, and sharing these memories becomes a bridge between past and present. It inspires new generations to imagine flavors they never tasted, and it gives those of us who lived it a chance to reminisce. The story of lost candies becomes more than candy. It becomes shared heritage. Let's revisit one more time the concept of flavor plus context in 80s snacks. When you ate those treats, you were often at school, playing outside, watching TV. The candy wrappers were bold, colorful, sometimes noisy, and always fun. TV commercials played after your favorite cartoons and influenced your choices. Packaging promised excitement, adventure, or bragging rights with friends. All of those factors made the snack experience richer and multi-layered. That richness is what we recall when we think, "I miss that snack." When a snack disappears, what we miss is not only flavor, but moment. It's the moment of unwrapping, the backdrop of playgrounds or movie nights. I personally recall reaching for a PB Max or Whistle Pop in dusk light. That ambient memory attaches to flavors, wrappers, sound of kids laughing. The absence of the candy doesn't erase that moment, it highlights it. Nostalgia thrives in the space left by what's no longer available. These 20 candies serve as portals back into those ambient memories. You might ask, could these candies ever come back? And maybe yes. Occasionally, brands revive classics for limited editions and nostalgia sales. But even if they return, they won't perfectly replicate the original era feel. The packaging, social context, and the childhood you had will differ. Still, maybe one day you'll see a marathon bar or a Chocolite again. When that happens, it won't just be candy. It will be a time machine. Imagine unwrapping it and hearing your younger self whisper, "Here it is." In the meantime, we can honor the memory and share these stories. You can show your kids or friends the wrappers and tell the tale. You can revisit old commercials and laugh at how different marketing was. You can browse retro snack lists and compare tastes with today's treats. Doing so keeps alive the flavor and fun of our youth era. It gives you a sense of continuity and connection through nostalgia. And it reminds you that small things like candy can hold big memories. What I hope you take from this video is more than sugar cravings. I hope you feel the vibe of snack aisles, school lunches, Saturday mornings. I hope you hear the rustle of wrapper foil, smell the chocolate, taste the fruit chew. I hope you smile remembering shared moments with siblings, friends, classmates. That's the power of nostalgia, the ability to transport you back in time. And that's what these 20 classic 80s candies represent for us. They represent youth, joy, shared culture, and vanished sweetness. If this video inspires you, scroll through comments and share your memory. Tell us which of these treats you remember, loved, or miss the most. Maybe you had a favorite variant or a packaging difference nobody else did. Maybe you remember the first time you tried a s'mores bar or Oompas. Sharing those stories enriches the collective memory of our generation. It helps newer viewers appreciate what snack culture used to be. And it builds a community around nostalgia, taste, and story. As someone deeply experienced in YouTube script research, I emphasize authenticity. When you speak from memory, detail, and emotion, viewers engage more deeply. Talk about texture, sound, context, packaging, and the feeling behind the bite. Avoid just listing candy names, instead bring each one alive with story. That's how we transform a snack into a moment worth remembering. This script aims to do exactly that for you and your audience. Use it, adapt it, and let the nostalgia ripple through your video. Let's wrap up this nostalgic journey through the 80s candy aisle. We explored 20 classic treats that once were widely enjoyed in USA. We talked about their flavors, textures, disappearance, and emotional resonance. We connected their stories to our childhoods, culture, and sense of time. Now you're equipped to reflect, share, and celebrate those memories again. You'll carry a bit of sugar-fueled nostalgia into your day and video, and you'll remember that snacks are more than taste. They're time capsules. Thank you for joining me on this retro candy adventure together. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it. On this channel, we dig into nostalgia, culture, and storytelling with depth. I'm here because I believe in connecting past and present through story. And I hope you leave this video feeling warm, inspired, and nostalgic. Take a moment right now to close your eyes and imagine your favorite bar. Relive the crunch, the sweet rush, the smile on your child self's face. Before we finish, I invite you to drop one snack name below. Tell us the one you remember most strongly and why it mattered. It might prompt someone else's memory and spark a lively comment thread. Nostalgia thrives when we share voices, memories, and sensory details. Let's keep these 80s snack stories alive through our community here. Because when we remember, we preserve those sweet slices of history. And we invite others to join the wave of remembrance and delight. In future videos, we'll explore other nostalgic snack corners, different decades. We'll dive deeper into the 90s, early 2000s, and global vintage treats. But for now, we've celebrated the USA's 80s candy culture with pride. You've rediscovered flavors you thought were lost and maybe forgotten. You've relived moments of childhood, weekends, and after-school adventures. And you've connected with the emotional weight of snack disappearance and memory. That connection is what makes YouTube storytelling powerful and personal. So go ahead, grab a snack even if it's modern substitute, and reflect. Play some 80s tunes, revisit your childhood candy shelf in your mind. Feel the sweetness of memory, the echo of long-gone candy wrappers. Let it spark a blog, a video idea, or a conversation with loved ones. Because in the end, snacks are tiny anchors to our life stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for another Nostalgia Dive. Until then, keep remembering, keep tasting, and keep sharing those sweet memories.